All right, let's check out this video. I thought this was pretty good.
So 15, 20 seconds in, you're seeing Cowboy Cerrone, who was the bigger guy,
right?
Okay, the bigger guy coming into this fight, be done in like 15 to 20 seconds. I mean, I don't think he landed a single blow against Conor McGregor. It was like shadow fighting, for crying out loud. Look, I have gotten hit that much in the last week. Here's what I'm thinking. The lights might have been too bright, Joe. And those bright lights shine down upon you, and you just ain't ready. No matter how much experience you have, you just ain't ready. And that's how it looked tonight. Cowboy Cerrone just didn't look ready. You didn't learn anything from tonight's fight because Cowboy Cerrone just didn't show up. I could have ran for 40 seconds.
I disagree.
Here, I'm standing next to a legend, okay?
Him putting his arm on him was really awkward, right?
And far be it for me to refute anything that Joe Rogan says, but here's my reality. We haven't learned a damn thing about Conor McGregor based off of this fight.
Really?
Because who were you? Listen, the man
Pink Trip made this, by the way, to plug.
did not get hit. If you're done in 15 seconds, my Lord, you couldn't back up Cowboy Cerrone. You couldn't catch a deep breath.
The hand on
You
the
couldn't
shoulder thing is making me uncomfortable.
circle the octagon
hate that.
just a little bit, get your bearings on you. You couldn't do anything. 40 seconds?
There was not a
40
challenge.
seconds.
There was not a challenge of maybe even Conor McGregor.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
Play this, Jamie. Watch this.
Oh, he
Watch
made
this.
fun of this?
First of all, someone needs to explain to me what's happening here.
Yeah, well, it
He's
looks like a
punching
dick punch to the
baby?
left.
Look how low he's punching. This guy should not be allowed to talk about fighting.
He would
Oh, no.
beat the holy hell out of a toddler. Look at this here. Like, there, toddler, there.
Punch it
Right in the forehead, right there, toddler. Right in the forehead, right there, toddler.
Me, Stephen A. Smith, me being at the Conor McGregor fight, check the numbers. The level of attention that it got, the traffic that it generated in digital and beyond.
No, Royce, I don't know if you know, but it's true. They say that the McGregor fight, the Conor McGregor fight, that it benefited from what they call the Stephen A. Smith bump. McGregor personally thanked Stephen A. Smith and was like, hey, man, thanks for coming and helping me out because I really needed the help because people don't really watch Conor McGregor fights.
But
people don't really go nuts when Conor McGregor fights. He doesn't.
He thinks that he
knows
the biggest fighter in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks that
yeah,
it was him.
You think he doesn't?
One of the funniest things Jay Farrow did, because Jay Farrow used to play Stephen A. Smith so great, he goes, LeBron and I go to the same hairline doctor.
That was funny.
Fucking great.
Check the numbers, number one.
You call the guy a quitter. First of all, he had a broken orbital bone, okay? You saying he was a quitter? He got his face smashed, okay?
Hey, Rogan, but why didn't you tell him when he was like there with you? Not that I think Rogan's afraid of Stephen A. Smith, but you should have roasted him there.
Yeah, but he was, it's always weird.
It was, you know what? It was on ESPN. It wasn't his turf.
50 million people watching.
Right,
And you're like,
right.
Okay. And that's a scenario, too, where I think people, you kind of know we're on TV.
Right.
I know this guy's actually making an ass of himself right now. So sometimes it's just best to not get dragged into it and also look like an ass. So Joe was probably like, yeah, get me out of here.
Guy a quitter. First of all, he had a broken orbital bone, okay? You saying he was a quitter? He got his face smashed, okay?
It don't take much to look at 3 shoulder shots to the nose that Conor McGregor gave Cowboy Cerrone, watching him fold inside of 20 seconds, knowing that he only got 1 strike off, and oh, by the way, that was blocked by Conor.
That's why you need guys like you doing post-fight commentary and discussing these things, not people who don't understand the sport and practice dick punches.
Well,
Dude, Joe Rogan's beefing? Is he beefing with Stephen A. Smith? Are they beefing?
He doesn't like Stephen A. Smith too much.
It's a different thing.
It's basically
Maybe he's hitting babies.
Yeah,
he's
he's
really
hitting
into
babies.
punching babies.
Excuse me, what are we talking about here?
Yes.
And when someone calls you a quitter like that, you better be. I'm not saying he should be careful, like watch his back, but don't expect these fighters to be very courteous to you next time you walk in the hall.
But anytime you want to talk to me about this fight, or you want to talk to me about my credentials to discuss something in the world of sports, name the time and place, Joe Rogan, I'll show up.
There was a reason, like, one of the greatest commentators of all time, John Madden, didn't talk about baseball. Like, it's a niche thing. Like, you know your thing, right?
They would bring in guys like Madden once in a while at a thing because it would be like a star-studded playoff game, and they'd bring him in for like 2 things. And you know what guys like Madden used to do? So what'd you think, John? What'd you think? Yankees Mets, Subway Series. What do you think? I think it's a heck of a game, right? Isn't that what you'd always do when they would bring, or they'd bring an NFL guy, or they bring an NBA guy over to an NFL game? What'd you think of that first quarter, huh? Oh man, I think both teams are just really playing really hard today. Good game. They don't come in and start going, man, these bitches, they don't know what they're doing.
You know, Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless used to have a show. I forget what it was called, but there was one of the biggest shows ESPN had, right?
Because it was 2 boobs arguing.
Right.
And it was 2 boobs taking the opposite sides of things and somehow both being wrong.
Yeah, so Skip Bayless left because Fox Sports gave him backed up a truck of money, and they said, we want you. So Stephen A. Smith stayed there. Skip Bayless went to Fox. And when the little divorce happened, I always goofed on Skip. I still to this day goof on Skip Bayless. I think Skip Bayless is goof on. He's easy to goof on.
He makes it easy.
Skip Bayless is this guy that rides on his high horse, but he's the one that, when he was a writer for a Dallas newspaper, started the rumor that Troy Aikman was gay, like for nothing. And Troy Aikman's life was like, I'm not gay. Like, what do you? Ruined his fucking.
That's such a high school level move to pull on somebody. I heard he's gay, right? He's a gay guy. It's true.
Right now, holy fuck, Stephen A. Smith, you look like a fool.
He looks like, dare I say, Royce, he looks like a real boob.
This is all good for him. Like, the more people talk shit about him, better it is for him. And then he just ramps it up even more, and more people are paying attention, the ratings go up.
Until he sees Cowboy in an elevator. Go right a fucking head, buddy.
But Cowboy's not going to hit him either.
What's he going to do?
He's not going to hit him.
Is this how you want your sport to be represented?
Yeah, I don't think that's great. Like,
pretty sure Dana White would have a thing or two to say about it.
This isn't UFC 1 where like they were just fighting people in bars all the time. Like Cowboy would probably go, "Hey man, what's up?" Like, you probably say something. But do you think Cowboy is going to fucking risk his next $6 million fight over punching Stephen A. Smith? And they're not going to do that. Come on.
Let me hear you. Who's quitting now, bitch?
Yeah, but it's not the place for MMA. It's just not the place. It's not the same thing.
It's not because the guys themselves can fight.
Excuse me, what are we talking about here?
If he said something like that about a Nate or Nick Diaz and they saw him in a fucking elevator,
they would fuck him up.
They would fuck him up.
Legitimately.
Dude, I'm gonna pop him if he gets near me. How about that? How about if he gets near me, he's gonna pop? How about that?
All right. So to be fair, yes, I will be honest here. Yeah, Nate or Nick Diaz would probably do that, but they're fucking crazy.
They also had, they had
they
impulse
probably.
control
I want to be
issues.
fair. They probably would. Yeah.
Excuse me, you're just wrong on this particular one. And I'm telling you you're wrong. Because Cowboy Cerrone in his first pay-per-view match folded. I respect him, but he folded like a cheap 10, period.
Look, there's a lot of reasons to make fun of Joe Rogan, right? I mean, for example, giving Brendan Schaub a career would be the first one that comes to my mind. But Joe Rogan...
having such a frumpy alleged side piece.
Yes. But Joe Rogan knows MMA. Like, look, you could say whatever you want. You agree, right? You give him credit. You have to give... That guy is a nerd when it comes to MMA. Like, he is a fucking one of... doing it forever. He knows it. Stephen A. Smith, you're a moron when it comes to MMA. And actually, except maybe basketball, most sports in general, you're an idiot.
Joe Rogan, if you need me.
But that's what I'm saying. Him and Skip had a show.
Did he just... This is a fucking... What did he just do to Rogan?
But he folded like a cheap 10, period. Joe Rogan, if you need me, you know where to find me.
You do that to another dude, bro?
You just think then he wants to fight.
Because here's the difference: Joe Rogan doesn't have a. First off, Joe Rogan's not going to fight anybody. He has
Second of all, Joe Rogan doesn't need you.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Doesn't need
All right,
the Stephen A.
there's a
Smith
link.
bump.
There's a link. Did he? Can you imagine if that's like something Joey Gibson did to you, or you punch him in the face? Like, what are you doing? You're right. I think he's just clout chasing.
And it's so weird, man. Like I was saying, him and Skip did a show where it's so rare when you watch a show where both guys are opposite, but they both are always wrong.
Well, it's like our show.
And then they're just boobs, and then they would just argue.
Like our show.
Over sports.
Oh, you're right. That's the difference. That we do with other things. That's the difference.
I just never understood the sports shows because it's like I understand arguing a little bit, but who the fuck could you imagine arguing for a half hour to an hour over one sports topic?